Welcome back, viewers. This is South Speaks. Now, the IT city of Bengaluru is facing one of its worst water crises. Almost 50% of Bengaluru's borewells have really dried up. Now, despite peak summer really far away, in response, Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar has announced that the state government would take control of private tankers. Not just that, even borewells and irrigation wells as well will come under the government. Now, considering the acute water shortage, the government is even contemplating introducing a standard price for these services. Now, what they have decided now is that for a distance within 5 kilometers, a 6,000 litre water tanker will cost 600 rupees. An 8,000 litre water tanker and 12,000 litre water tanker will cost 700 and 1,000 rupees respectively. Now, for distances beyond 5 kilometers but within 10 kilometers, a 6,000 litre water tanker has been fixed at rupees 750. Meanwhile, for an 8,000 litre and 12,000 litre water tanker, one will have to really shell out 850 and 1,200. This is, of course, for both these different, categories. The state government, meanwhile, has also really allocated 210 crores. This is to manage the drinking water crisis. What they plan to do is drill new borewells. About 70 crores has been allocated specially for this. But while we are looking at this problem, while we are looking at some sort of solutions being offered by the government, the politics over the water shortage has already erupted. BJP MP Tejasvi Surya yesterday submitted a memorandum to the BWSS. We spoke to the media after that and claimed that the Siddaramaiah government did not take action despite being alerted by experts and warned of protests if decisive action was not taken within a week.
Had warned the government, geologists, meteorologists, officials in the government had all indicated to the government that the monsoons will be failed. There is a severe water crisis that Bengaluru is staring at. Despite these warnings, the government did not take any action preemptively. Today, the drinking water crisis in the city has become severe. Literally hundreds of apartments complexes, hundreds of areas do not even have a single drop of drinking water available. Close to 50% of the city's borewells have dried up. So all of these bulk users must be supplied with treated water for non-potable use, and drinking water must be sparingly used and must be adequately redistributed in areas where there is need and shortage.
As an MP, you should go and approach Kaveri Water Management Authority. It's under the central government. It is an autonomous body. State government have got nothing to do with that. And this kind of childish statement, will create animosity between the two states.
Okay, let's open this up. Vijay Prasad of the BJP is with us. Advocate Umer Junaidi, political analyst, also with us. Joseph Hoover, activist and environmentalist, joining us today on the broadcast. Now, firstly, let me take this across to Mr. Junaidi. Mr. Junaidi, some suggestions are really coming in from Mr. Tejasvi Surya, but the Congress is dismissing it, saying it's he's immature, childish statements. Probably, some of them make sense here, and taking it into consideration won't do any harm to the government, will it?
Deepak, the water crisis in Bangalore is a topic to be worried of, and the Karnataka government is very much worried and is very much serious about the issue of water shortage in Bengaluru and taking every possible measure to overcome the issue. You have just now played D.K. Shivkumar. You just now said that D.K. Shivkumar gave a press conference statement saying that half of the borewells in the city have been dried up. So this is the natural problem what Bangalore is facing right now. Because of monsoon, because of the water level, groundwater level going down, it's all about the natural crisis the Bengaluru is facing, and the Karnataka government is trying bit and hard to make this crisis, to solve this crisis as soon as possible. So meanwhile, the MP from Bharatiya Janata Party wants to, play politics on it. If the intention is to really help the people of Bengaluru, then only the suggestions would have been given. Why? What was it necessary to say that it will be a protest? There will be a protest out of Vidhan Sabha. So making a protest, organizing a protest, will it benefit the people of Bengaluru, or suggesting the government in the crisis where it's natural crisis, Deepak? No government wanted it to happen, and no people want it unnecessary to happen and blame the government. So it's a natural problem that Bengaluru is facing. Instead of being supportive to the public of Bengaluru, Tejasvi Surya wants to play politics. That's why the intention of the MP is not very much clear. So the government is not listening to what Tejasvi Surya is saying. There should be an approach which should yield the results in a good way. So at a side, you are just warning the government of protest, and on the other hand, giving the suggestions. So there will be definitely a question on the
Vijay
intent.
Prasad, Mr. Junaidi believes
Congress
that
is doing.
just advice should have been given, but not warnings of protest. It's unnecessary and it's politicizing the matter.
Deepak and other panelists. See, we have been pushed to this situation only because of Congress incompetence. They have failed miserably in handling the situation. See, they very well knew Karnataka is facing rainfall deficit and had declared drought. Even after that, this water crisis did not come out of blue, or it was not airdrop. The Congress did not foresee the future of the water crisis and to satisfy and quench the interest of alliance partner, Indie partner, and ended up satisfying the thirst of their alliance partner. So what has happened? Water that was supposed to be in Karnataka reservoir has flowed and sitting in Tamil Nadu reservoir. This is what they have done. Can Congress guarantee the people of Karnataka that the water will be released back to Karnataka's reservoir? See, because of this incompetence of Siddaramaiah government and the DK Shivakumar, the Bengaluru in charge minister, we have in the dire state of water, and they are not able to quench the thirst of Karnataka and the Bangalore people, in particular to Bangalore. They have failed miserably. So what is that? See, eventually, what has Congress done? What has Congress done? Congress has eventually done and given birth to water mafia. They are leading this water mafia, and they have straight away we have a lot of information about Congress asking for commission from the tanker owners. The Congress even does not hesitate to skin the peel the outer skin from these tanker owners, and they have magnanimously taking these commissions from these people. So what have they ended up? They have failed miserably.
Okay, you're now leveling another charge that they are taking commission from water tankers. Okay, Mr. Vijay Prasad, now we've spoken enough about the issue in itself. Very quickly, I'll take a comment from Mr. Hoover, but I want to get to the politics of it, because as we go into summer, the Lok Sabha elections is also approaching. How the government delivers on these promises that they're making on, capping the prices of water tankers, all of this, of course, could come a long way in how the city of Bengaluru votes, because it's a real issue at this point in time. Massive impact it has had, especially on apartments and even now independent homes as well. Mr. Hoover, very quickly, if you could bring this into perspective as to the kind of solutions that have been offered by the government. Is it going to really help the city of Bengaluru, the people who are reeling under a lot of pressure at this moment, to get even, one tanker of water to their house?
First of all, there should be enough water to be supplied. When there's a shortage of water, where do you get the water from? So that is the million-dollar question now. Well, they've taken a good decision, because when I asked for a tanker of water, which I was normally paying 700 rupees, I was charged 3,000 rupees. Then I refused. I said I don't need it. So in a way, capping the price, the cost factor is fantastic. That's a good move by the government. Now, just going back a little, I was listening to both Mr. Umer and Mr. Vijay Prasad, and I heard what Tejasvi Surya said. But I should go back and tell Mr. Vijay Prasad and Mr. Tejasvi that when Mr. Bommai was the chief minister, the Environment Management Policy and Research Institute had given a paper, white paper, saying that there's going to be severe water shortage in Karnataka. And they said 8 districts will go dry, including Bangalore urban and rural. But nothing was done. At the same time, the lakes in Bangalore were destroyed by one of its own ministers. Mr. Muniratna destroyed Vaskerelli Lake by making a road in the middle of the lake. Then to expand a walking path, Algaoderelli Lake was destroyed. Now is Mr. Tejasvi Surya and Mr. Vijay Prasad going to talk to Mr. Muniratna? We are not worried about the politics. We don't care about Congress, BJP, potato, tomato party. We as a people have to ask questions. Now that they have asked this, raised this question, I want to ask them. What are you guys doing? Are you going to protest in Mr. Muniratna's house? You have destroyed, there's no water in a school there in Vaskerelli. Students are struggling today. There's a campaign now asking to provide water for the kids. Who's responsible for this? So now, coming back to what they said, they have destroyed our forest. Where is the water going to come from?
You don't dare
Where
to
is the
question
water going to come from?
And how can you ask questions
Okay.
to
And all the
members?
policies. It's a
Today, the
cumulative
incumbent
failure of the government.
Okay, very quickly. Okay,
BJP
Mr. Hoover. Let's have
failure
Vijay Prasad respond to that.
Let me talk,
Very quickly, I
not
want to
just
go back to
listen
Mr.
to me.
Junaidi. So quickly, Mr. Prasad, respond.
Yeah, Deepak, see, Joseph, the so-called activist, does he have the courage to go and question DK Shivakumar when they rampantly released water to the Tamil Nadu reservoir, when they very well knew.
Mr. Prasad, I request you not to take personal jibes here. You can counter his argument. Let's not get personal here, but counter his argument. Go ahead.
I'm not getting personal. Can he go and question DK Shivakumar? Does he have the courage? So that is not personal comment.
I am not
see,
The comment before that was personal. Okay.
Karnataka state was really under severe drought, and these people went and Karnataka government went under the leadership of Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar. They went and released the water to Tamil Nadu government. See,
Western Ghats has been destroyed, young man. Where is the water going to come from?
Deepak, shall I come in? Deepak, shall I come in?
See, we have Deepak, this government did not foresee the situation we are in today. We have been pushed to this situation. We have so many times, even in the floor of the house, we have taken up the issue of a drought, water crisis, the farmers' crisis in the assembly. The government is turning the other way. They are not able to answer it. They have not able to answer how they are going to quench the thirst of
now
the
I'm going to take more questions across to Mr. Junaidi as well, because I want him to answer from the perspective of the Congress party, because right now they are the government in power, and we should definitely ask them the questions because they are the ones who can make any change if necessary. Yes, it is valid that Mr. Hoover pointed out that what the BJP could have done, but that's also in the past. And of course, you can continue this political blame game, but Mr. Vijay Prasad, you need to be answerable to what you have done as well in the past. But Mr. Junaidi, we're in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections. People at this point in time are already suffering. The temperatures are only going to go up. The borewells are going to dry up further. But the question here is, while all of this has been happening, on the one hand, the BJP is saying that, the water that was released to Tamil Nadu at that point in time, better effort should have been put in to contain it. But I want to also bring in another aspect here. There was a legislation that was brought about by, the Congress party very recently. This was the FAR amendment bill that they brought about. What this essentially does is it creates revenue for the government. This means that if there were floors that were built without permission earlier, now they pay some amount of money and make it legal. Why this is important in a water debate, Mr. Junaidi, is that for a city that is already packed, that is reeling under a water crisis, you are now legalizing floors which were illegal. That means there would be 2 to 3 additional floors and that many number of people consuming water in the city. This is just because you can fill the coffers of the government. Mr. Junaidi, so, all of this really boils down to future planning. And this was a legislation that came in very recently.
Deepak, first of all, I would like to say that whatever the activist said while he was speaking, and the reply from the BJP, the spokesperson of BJP, on the spot tags him as so-called activist. If he was in favor of BJP, I don't know what he would have been calling him. But fine, all the thing is fine. We are in the Karnataka. There's a Congress government who is able to answer every question raised by the public and for the betterment of public. Now, responding to your question, yes, there are some changes which have to be taken care of. There are many perspectives and many other aspects wherein the government has to take care of. It's not only about legalizing the floors, but also there should be an overview about how we will be, fulfilling the requirement of water. That is definitely a point which have to be given a thought. Fully agree to it. There might have been some problems wherein the Karnataka government have been wrong, and we totally accept it. And in future, will definitely there might be a change on it, and they'll be definitely working for the betterment of the public with respect to the water. Now, answering to Vijay Prasad's question about giving the water to other states just because of alliance and all. I don't know what BJP talks about the logic and what logic they use while they speak. Are we not going for the elections? Is Karnataka not going for the elections? The Congress candidates are not contesting for the elections. Why will the Congress government in Karnataka will be favoring the allies parties in other states? Are we not having the elections? We are having elections in the entire country. So it's not, there is no logic saying that just because
since May, this Congress government came into the picture. The state is living under severe drought situation.
So don't
even
have
after
the elections in Karnataka.
Even after Congress has declared.
But Mr. Junaidi, all your answers that came in were that the government will do this. There could have been a mistake, but the question is that there are things that the Congress also should look at, and planning for the future is something that is very critical.
We are introspecting. Deepak, the Congress always believes in introspection and working for the betterment of public. Definitely will introspect. The actions will be taken. The plan will be made of.
Okay, hopefully the introspection, but more importantly, more than the water crisis, if you don't introspect at the right time, it's probably the voters, especially around Bengaluru. You have multiple constituencies, of course, here itself. So the people will, reflect their opinion through the votes as well. That's something that the Congress will have to remember. Mr. Prasad wanted to come in very quickly, Mr. Prasad. I have just a couple of minutes left.
Deepak, see, the main issue here is the incompetentness. See, they are not able to foresee the situation and preempt the situation. Even after the government declaring most of the district as a drought prone, and they are not able to satisfy, and they are not able to see how the water crisis will be managed, how the water will be, the drinking water will be supplied. And if you see the situation here now, I can give you one example.
Okay, you tell me, Mr. Prasad, if it was the BJP in their position, how would you have done this differently? Because all of this was happening with directions from the CWRC. So how would the BJP really do this differently? Explain to us.
No, Deepak, the only what if BJP was in power? We would have first given the preference for the common man issues, and we would have thought about the preempted and decided in advance how can we.
You're blaming them over the release of Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. I'm asking you, how would you do this differently? Whether it's a CWRC, in fact, making these, putting out these instructions, and based on that the release of water happens, how would the BJP do this differently?
We have preempted. We have taken some steps to mitigate the situation, but here the Congress has done nothing. That is the reason. See, the issue here is Deepak. The main issue here is we are in dire need of water. We are in dire need of water. We don't have water.
Okay, the blame game continues.
And the dams have dried up. Where is the water sitting now?
Where is the water sitting?
The water is sitting in Tamil Nadu. The water is sitting in Tamil Nadu.
Well, the people of Bengaluru, Mr. Prasad, Mr. Junaidi, the people of Bengaluru are watching. This tutu meme isn't going to help their situation. And like I mentioned, come Lok Sabha elections, especially in the constituencies of Bengaluru, Bengaluru South, Bengaluru North, Bengaluru Central, Bengaluru Rural, they're all, of course, going to keep this in mind about how the political parties work for them. They're not not going to keep in mind the blame game that you guys are indulging in. With that, I'm thanking all our panelists. I've run out of time. I'm slipping into a quick break. On that note, thanking all of you all for joining us today.